Well, everything is going up, but don't worry. There's no inflation. And what inflation there is, it's just transitory. You don't have to worry about a thing. This is some of the crap that has been shoved down our throats here recently. We've dispelled most of it right here on this program, but we are starting to really see the momentum of inflation. We're really starting to see the momentum of real estate right now. And why that's the case is because even when buyers get fatigued, even when rates go up a little bit, you're still seeing multiple offers, you're still seeing homes move. However, the thing that's changed is that sellers cannot just do whatever they want. They have to go back to the basics. They have to do things right again. You can't just put it on the market for whatever number you feel like. You have to go back to comps. You have to get back to reality. And that's good. That's a good thing. We don't want sellers to be able to just name their price. That's not good for us buyers. So right now, we are seeing the finding of that. You're seeing some agents who are saying, you know what? Okay, hey, we'll do it your way. We'll do it your way. And then if it doesn't work, we'll do it my way. And that's what a lot of these price reductions are. A lot of the price reductions are just, sellers who wanted to do it their way. They wanted to list it at that price that they should have ultimately gotten it for in the end. And that's not the right way to market your home, unfortunately. So we're going to look at a couple things today. Derrick Evans here, VA Home Loan Specialist, NMLS 155010. Call, text, email me if you want to buy or refi. Let's jump in. So we'll get this out of the way here. Let's see. Bye-bye. And then I'll get my tokus over here. All right. So mortgage rates, I have no good news for you. And I don't expect to have good news for you on this front for quite some time. The expectation right now is that rates are for sure going to go higher for a long period of time. Even if we got a rally, look at this. Even if we got a rally up here into the throes of these moving averages, this downtrend here, which is going to be very tough to buck, is going to be even more challenging as time goes on. So these moving averages are trending down. Everything's pointing down, and the Fed hasn't even begun to taper yet. We only lost 8 basis points today, so I consider that to be a win. I consider that to be a win. We had let's call it a higher low. Can we call it that from yesterday? Trying to get bullish here over 2 days. Bonds don't look good. Rates are going to go higher. So, but the difference now, and I've seen a lot of people posting about rates going higher. The difference now with rates going up versus in the past is that it's not evenly distributed across the gamut, which shows proof that the appetite for the better bonds, meaning the AAA mortgage bonds, the people who really have the 780 credit and the 20% down, there's still a lot more appetite for those bonds. Those people haven't seen a huge change in interest rates. Not much at all. If you're buying with an FHA loan at 620, you have. Could be 0.25%, could be 0.5%. It's gone up. It's gone up. If you got pre-approved like 3 months ago, check in. What are rates today? And don't blame the loan officer. We're just messengers. We don't make this stuff. But just know that's likely what's happening. So that's where we're at with mortgage rates. I want to start there. I did also mention, so the Bitcoin ETF was released today. And let's see, what was it called? BITO, right? BITO. ProShares Bitcoin ETF makes its debut at $40. And it got to 42 in after hours. So gave you 5% right off the bat, day one. This was supposed to be a buy the rumor, sell the news trade. That's what everyone told us, right? Okay, yeah, well, the ETF's here, so now the run up in Bitcoin should subside. Currently not the case. Flexing up against the all-time high for Bitcoin, up $3,000 in 24 hours. The concept of Bitcoin may be difficult to understand for a lot of people. I know it took me years to understand. I wish I'd understood it the first time someone told me I'd be a very, very wealthy person. But once I finally understood it, it made sense. And a lot of what's happening with real estate is the same as Bitcoin. Bitcoin is digital real estate. Real estate and Bitcoin are similar because they have limited supply. Limited supply. With Bitcoin, the supply that's coming on the market is halved every 4 years. And there's a maximum total supply. Doesn't that sound very similar to what's happening with real estate? The amount that's being built is descending every year, and eventually you won't be able to build anymore. Two same concepts. If you took, let's do this. If you took a look at the charts for Bitcoin and for real estate, they look like that. That's what they look like. The charts look like that. It goes up. Okay. And for similar principles, not the exact same reasons, but for similar principles, this is the case. Now there's here's your timeline. Here's your price axis. Okay. Good. They go higher. It's not completely because of lack of supply, but it's because of demand and supply imbalance and what we call supply shock. Supply shock is happening in Bitcoin right now. Supply shock is happening in real estate right now, which is why rents are surging. So rents, rates, real estate, Bitcoin, all going higher. But the Fed would have you and I believe that there isn't that much inflation going on. What did Powell say? He's got 5 measuring sticks on inflation that aren't holding up very well. I'm not going to go through this one in great detail, but I'm going to put this one on the YouTube. You can watch it. You can see it. Basically, Powell, by the way, who's invested in stocks, invested in securities that the Federal Reserve was buying. He's worth $50-some million. So there's that. But Powell was trying to say the inflation is transitory, trying to say it's not as big a deal. Why? We finally figured out holdings. Members of Congress, members of the Federal Reserve, members of the government who own this stuff, they all know they own it. And the game plan is keep it going up. That's why the stock market seems to never stop. That's why inflation coming, they go, oh no, we don't want to do anything that will mess up, what we have going here. But there's records that have come out now showing when Powell bought and sold stuff clearly before policy decisions were announced. Just bad stuff. And you know what's crazy? It's not even illegal. I mean, maybe unethical, but it's not even illegal. So inflation, we've definitely been lied to about it. But what do we do about it? This is why I'm talking about Bitcoin and real estate. A lot of people ask me, should I buy Bitcoin or real estate? Like, hey, I have 30 grand I could put down on a house. Should I buy real estate or should I buy half of Bitcoin? It's a good question. As my good buddy who loves real estate as much as I do says, you can't live in a Bitcoin. This is true, and this will always be true. However, Bitcoin could buy you lots of houses down the road. You can't live in a Bitcoin. If you're deciding between real estate and Bitcoin right now, that means you don't have real estate, so you need to get there first. Okay, you need to buy real estate first. You need to buy your primary residence, take advantage of all the tax benefits associated with that. Take advantage of hedging your housing costs. Okay, do that immediately. I don't care if Zillow is going to stop buying stuff. Someone asked me, well, hey, what if Zillow got in financial trouble and they had to sell all these houses? They have 3,800 homes that they purchased in the last quarter. Would that crash the market? Yeah, it would. But they would have to be like in a bankruptcy situation to do that. Why would they do that? Why would they crash their own asset? Makes no sense. So they're not going to do that. But what if there was a situation where there was a cascade effect? What if it began with BlackRock? What if we found out that BlackRock was a Ponzi scheme and they all of a sudden had to liquidate all their assets? Would that crash the market? That would crash the market. I don't think that's going to happen. You're talking about BlackRock. By the way, Jay Powell, guy you're looking at right there, heavily invested in BlackRock. 11% of his entire net worth is invested in BlackRock. So BlackRock very well connected. Unlikely something like that would go on. Very, very unlikely that they would have a liquidation situation. But that's another reason why keeping the stock market up is good, because you get less liquidations from your investors when you're a hedge fund manager. When you're a hedge fund manager and the market starts to go down, people pull their money out. When the market goes up, they keep putting money in. Makes the job easier. This is part of the reason behind the plunger team. This is part of the reason behind QE. This is part of the reason behind the loose monetary policy that has caused everything to go higher. Notice stocks also over time go higher. Bitcoin, real estate, same. But for this particular scenario, I'm not going to talk about stocks because I think the overall valuation in stocks right now is insane. Single family rents surging. Here's what's crazy about this. Nationally, rents rose 9.3% in August. That's year over year. 2.2% year over year increase in August of 2020. So you're seeing a 10% increase in rents. Take note, landlords, take note. A lot of you are not getting the rents you should be getting. You should be getting more rent than you are. You're giving someone a good deal. And there's nothing wrong with giving someone a good deal if you're cool with it. Nothing wrong with that at all. Go ahead, give them a good deal. Those of you looking to maximize your investment, when you put your property on the market to rent and you get 100 inquiries, take it off immediately, put it back on $1,000 a month more. Find the market. If you get 10 inquiries at that amount, talk to those 10 people. You see what I'm saying? If you get 0 inquiries, take it off, put it back on 500 more. Find the market. And you get 20 inquiries, cool. Talk to those 20 people. You don't need 100. When you're, and right now, especially single family detached homes, condos a little bit different. Single family detached homes for rent are few and far between across the whole country. I've been trying to buy properties in Missouri all week. We put an offer in here a couple of weeks ago. Was it last week? I think it was the week before. Full price, no contingencies, no dice. That's part of my whole system, my whole process is to buy those single family detached and rent them in places where there aren't single family detached for rent. Can't get them. I feel a little bit bad, when you do get those, right? Because you're taking one from potentially a first-time home buyer family or whatever it is. But it's a dog-eat-dog world, team. Dog-eat-dog world. Grab your real estate, grab your Bitcoin as much as you can. But if you're choosing between the two, go real estate first. Get that in place. Okay, make sure you're in good shape there. Then you can start going and dabbling in Bitcoin. Also, PS, as you look at the markets here, up today. A lot of good earnings reports came out today. First Bitcoin futures ETF, which we told you was going to happen. Look at this, though. If you guys haven't seen Squid Game, which is totally bizarre. It reminds me of Hostel and like Saw and some of those just super gory, just unbelievably evil plots. But I couldn't take my eyes away from that train wreck one bit. I mean, we watched that whole thing in like 3 days. 2/3 of Netflix users, they said this thing is worth $900 million. That was what I was trying to get to. Squid Game reportedly worth almost $900 million. How crazy is that? That's a Korean director. They're speaking Korean. It's subtitles. You never see movies like that do that well. Really impressive. Netflix has just become the A1 go-to best of breed production company. They are going to put Hollywood out of business. Mark my words. It's only a matter of time. That's a really good one too. So people are asking me like, hey, should I buy the ProShares Bitcoin ETF? Sure, if you want to, go for it. Do it the same way that you buy anything else. Scale in, dollar cost average. Don't put it all in at once. Okay, we are, right now touching all-time highs in Bitcoin. All-time highs. So scale in. There's probably a pullback somewhere in there. If you buy every week like I do, you don't have to worry about it. You catch those dips without even having to think about it. Oil, $83. I'm going to keep taking victory laps on that one, guys. I just hope you took advantage of it. And I hope you've gotten rid of your gold. I'm not someone who hates gold or copper or silver or platinum or palladium. I don't really care too much about the precious metals. But I will tell you this. A lot of people try to argue with me about gold. Gold has gone nowhere. This is a moment where gold should be shining. Nothing's happening there. It's a complete dud. It's a nothing burger. Your money, you have dead money if your money's in gold. It is dead money. Dead money. It's not going anywhere. Meanwhile, everything else is mooning, and your gold's going nowhere. So let's be honest. Stocks up, right? Stocks higher, stocks up. Rents are up. Real estate is up. Bitcoin is up. This is where we're at right now. And mortgage rates also going up. Remember, this is the bond chart. When bonds go down, here's the current trajectory. When bonds go down, rates go up. Pretty clear message right here. Now, the question is, when the Federal Reserve starts selling, or keep in mind, I said that wrong. They're not selling. They're going to stop buying as much. When they start to pull back, remember, there's still a buyer. So the market won't be completely defenseless. And maybe they'll be able to hold the line. Maybe they'll be able to hold this line for a while. Maybe that's what they'll use their purchase for, to just kind of hold the line and keep things steady. That would be the way to do it. That would be the smart way to do it. I don't know if that's what'll happen or not. We'll see. I hope it is. I really, really do. All right. Let's see. Was there one more thing? Rents, Federal Reserve. I thought there was one more. Drops targets. Yeah, very interesting things going on in politics. I won't touch that right now. But oil good, gold bad, stonks doing well, crypto murdering. And I one thing that I also want to point out here as we see this is happening, that a lot of times when Bitcoin goes parabolic, which is what a lot of people believe is happening right now, that we're going to see a parabolic move in Bitcoin pretty much straight up to 100,000. I don't know if that's true or not. I hope it is. Be great. But usually a precursor to that is Bitcoin outperforming everything else significantly. And you can see here, Bitcoin Cash up 2.5, Litecoin 2.5, XRP up 1.4, Ethereum up 4, Bitcoin leading the way with gains. A lot of times the alts or the smaller coins will have higher percentage gains on good positive days for crypto because they're on such a smaller basis. It's $1.09 or $188 and not 64,000. So it all makes sense. It all adds up. But whatever you do, if you're going to buy it, scale yourself into it, be smart about it. And don't think that you can time the market with that or anything else. That will cost you more money than any other decision that you can make. Now, if we get lucky here, man, we're going to need some love. If we get lucky, maybe we can call a bottom here. And if we call a bottom here, we're going to Fibonacci up to about right here. Okay. That's only about 80 basis points up from now, but it could be, an eighth or a quarter of a point for most borrowers. I think that's our best case scenario right now before we continue lower. So I'm staying pretty bearish on mortgage bonds right at the moment. Have no reason, none at all, to be bullish. The inflation that I've warned you about for months and months, it's here. It's showing itself everywhere. I want you to read this article right here. Okay? Get an update on it. Do your own research. Read some of these things. Some of this stuff is actually really good. You got to read it. You can tell. And I'm surprised that the media has been as soft on Powell as they have been, to be honest with you. There's a lot of reasons to attack the crap out of him, and they have been pretty soft on him. So now it's finally coming to light. A lot of people are talking about, hey, Chairman Powell's going to lose his gig. He's going to be out. I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world, depending upon who replaces him. But the bottom line is the Federal Reserve has been tampering with the markets for many years. That tampering has caused people to create lots of wealth in lots of different ways. The question you have to ask yourself right now is, what has staying power? And I think it's real estate, and I think it's Bitcoin. I think those are the two things that have staying power to continue to go higher pretty much no matter what else happens. Is there a black swan scenario for real estate? I've been looking for it for a long time. It would have to be one of these major institutions like BlackRock, like Zillow, like Redfin, getting some sort of liquidation call and just saying, sell all the properties. It would have to be something like that, and it would probably have to be multiple of them at the same time, creating a panic. That would be the only way that it would make sense, because you tell me, do you only one who would like to buy a house that can't afford it at these prices but would love to buy at a lower price? Yeah, there's tons of people like that out there. There is a drove of buyers waiting underneath this market who would love to see prices come in. I don't think they're going to get to see that, unfortunately. I wish that they would, but I don't think it's going to happen. So my guess is that we have a slight stall. We see a little sideways action in real estate here for a little bit, and then we take the next leg higher. And I'll do a deep dive on some of the stats probably later this week in real estate, just to kind of, let's do a check-in. Where are we at? But that's my expectation. We see price per square foot level off a little bit, and then it's going to start heading higher again. Once all the people who've been waiting for the dip realize, okay, it's not coming, we better get back in the market. There's also a lot of people who are starting to get priced out. You're going to see them start to get more aggressive. There's also a lot of people who are doing their own research. They realize rates are going to go higher. They're trying to pull the trigger. There's still tons of motivation. There's still no inventory. Real estate still makes a ton of sense. All right, guys, I'm going to get back to it. You have a great day. Hope this makes you and your friends smarter than everyone else. Share this link. Subscribe. I'll see you soon.